I'm Spencer Myers and I'm here with Scott Garvey. We're outside of Carman, Manitoba today doing some testing for the Ag in Motion Discovery Plus show that's taking part this year, July 21st through 25th. This year we're testing 3 different UTVs. So Scott, can you break down what we're testing and how we're going to test them?
Well, Spencer, we have 3 different manufacturers represented here today. We have a diesel model from Mahindra. We've got a Can-Am Defender Pro with the long wheelbase. And we also have one of Kubota's newest models, the Sidekick 850. You know, we've tested UTVs in the past and put them through their paces, but the test course we've designed today is probably the most difficult test course we've ever put together for these machines. So we're going to be able to test a wide variety of performance factors, acceleration, maneuverability. As well, we have a load prepared that we're going to put in the bed of each one of these machines. And we also have a weighted trailer prepared, so we're going to be towing as well as hauling. All the kinds of things that you would expect these machines to be able to do on the farm, we're going to do here today, and we're going to let you know how the machines performed.
This year's event is sponsored by BKT, and the machines have been supplied by local dealers. So Scott, we just finished the unloaded portion of our testing today. This is the Mahindra XTV 1000 supplied by Hydro Ag Supply. So let's talk about what we liked and what we didn't like about this machine here.
Well, capable machine, diesel, the only diesel in the test, so we're getting more noise. We're getting a bit of a slower acceleration than you would expect on a gas model. So that's to be expected because of the difference in design. This is one of 2 that's supplied with a cab. It's nice to have a cab, but one of the things I didn't like about this cab was, well, a couple of things actually. I don't much care for the design of this door handle. It's 2 fingers in there to get it open. Kind of, if you had winter gloves on, that might be kind of a difficult thing. These windows, kind of reminiscent of an old European car where you can only slide them half open. And this machine did not have air conditioning, so it got a little hot in here. You can open the windshield on this model to help with airflow.
But on a 30°C day like we've had today, it gets a little warm in there.
It really does. Inside the cab, I like those seats.
They're really nice. Seats are comfy, they're well designed. And I found that it was comfy to drive, but again, you had a bit more cab noise in this than maybe the Kubota that we have with the cab. Let's talk about kind of the back of the machine. What did you like or dislike about the tailgate or the bed?
So this has a hydraulic bed, the only machine in our test group that does. So button on the dashboard, your box will tilt, which if you had a load of firewood or anything that you didn't want to manually hand bomb out, that's going to be pretty handy. Something that the other manual lifts, they're not going to unload a heavy cargo. Sides fold down, so you can essentially create a flat deck with this, although you do have the short box, and the box is steel, but it does have an aluminum deck in the bottom, so it should be fairly sturdy.
Yep. And storage on this one, there isn't any under seat storage. There's a small storage compartment in the front. What were your likes and dislikes?
Yeah, this is, when it comes to storage compartments, this is the least equipped of our test vehicles. All you've got is a standard glove box like you'd have in a car or pickup truck. So if you had a lot of tools that you kept in your machine permanently, you would have to use bed space for that.
Okay.
But other than that, capable. It's got 2 or 4-wheel drive selectable and rear differential lock, and we tested that traction ability of it.
Yeah.
No problems at all on hill climbing and in soft dirt. But we did manage to find that we had hit the power limitation of this on some steep hill climbs.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the Can-Am.
So Scott, this is the Defender XT. As you can see, when we cut to a wide shot, this actually has the long box on it. I was quite surprised at how maneuverable this machine was, but we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about the other things that we liked and disliked about this machine.
Yeah, the Defender Pro XT, not the first time I've driven one. I knew a bit of what to expect here. This is a very powerful machine, 82 horsepower, which puts it head and shoulders above the other two that we're testing, and we saw that what that does to its performance on the hill climb simply just went up with no trouble at all. Storage on this machine is head and shoulders above all the rest. There's storage everywhere, including a full pass-through right under the box. The box is 6 feet long, so again, different than the others, and also the sides will come off, so you can have a flat deck on this.
Okay.
One of the things Can-Am has done is put a lot of effort into silencing their machine, and we noticed that during the drive. This is a fairly quiet machine when you're sitting in the cab. Reason for that is a redesign they did a couple of model years back. Engine on this as well is farther back, so it's farther from the cab.
Okay.
They also wrapped the exhaust to keep them quieter. Electronic controls on this for 4-wheel drive and diff lock.
Yeah, and when I had to switch in and out of 4-wheel, it just makes it that much quicker. Yeah. And the seats are comfy as well, just like the old models of Defender. They're really well designed. The headrest is there. I felt pretty secure with the bar here. So one thing I was expecting when I hopped into this machine was that it would be a little longer to turn, it wouldn't turn as quick, and also I knew that we were going to have to maneuver around some tight trees. I didn't know how that was going to go. Really pleasantly surprised driving this. It felt like I was driving any other standard UTV or side-by-side in terms of how big it is, but when you look at this machine, it's noticeably longer than most of the other machines that we've tested. So just as maneuverable, and the power made it that much nicer to drive as well. You didn't feel like you were fighting the landscape at all. It kind of, no matter what was underneath, it kind of just rolled right over.
Yeah, electronic power steering was a nice feature as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the Kubota.
Okay.
So Spencer, let's talk about the sports car in the bunch here.
Yes.
A few years ago, Kubota introduced the XG line, much peppier, sportier version than the RTV line that they had been offering, which they still do. But what we've seen today, this is our first time behind the wheel of one of these. This is a sporty machine, and by far the sportiest of this working group that we've got here. It's a gas engine, adequate power. We saw on the hill climb, we were making it work, but it did the job. Second of two with an enclosed cab. This cab was a little nicer. I like the doors better, handles were nicer. The windows roll down in a normal fashion, so you can get a large airflow going on there. Of course, ours came with a windshield wiper, which would be a handy option in adverse conditions. Inside the cab, we've got fairly basic seating, probably not as nice as some of the others, but comfortable nonetheless.
Yep.
One thing I do like about this is Kubota has stayed with their mechanical control system.
Yes.
So to shift 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive is a mechanical lever, diff lock, mechanical lever, the same as you'd find on a 2-wheel drive tractor. I like that. The simplicity is nice.
The parking brake is on the left side. It feels normal. It feels familiar.
It feels automotive. And at the same time, it feels like it might feel on a tractor that you're used to using.
Yeah.
Peppy, good acceleration. We did get to use the winch. That pulled us up, no sweat at all, the winch that this was equipped with. One of the nicest lighting packages I noticed, although we didn't get a chance to use it in the dark, but that would be handy.
So looking, I guess, into the cab and towards the back, what's storage like on this compared to the Can-Am, which has amazing storage?
You do have under-seat storage in here, which is pretty good under both sides. So it's adequate if you've got a toolbox or something you want to put in. This isn't bad.
Yeah. And the tailgate, it's been coated with that rock coating, so it's very tough, very durable. You're not going to worry about scratching anything in the back of this machine. The lift is manual, which is, again, it's maybe not as nice if you have a full load of firewood or something that you really need to dump and you don't want to do it by hand, but it's familiar and it's easy to use. The tailgate on this machine was my favorite of the three, simply because of that ease of use. The standard latch pull, you can slam it shut. You have no worries of getting your fingers in the way, whereas on the Mahindra, it was very similar, but you have to have the gate in maybe a bit more of a particular position to close it.
Yeah, and what we saw today with our work here is when we needed to go run for something, this was the one we chose because it was just a peppy, simple little machine to get in and nice to operate.
Yeah. If you're looking for a machine that can kind of do everything, offers that power, but offers also that little bit more of a sporty feel, then the Kubota is a great option for that.
Yeah. What we had today was essentially a sports car and 2 pickup trucks. So that's the unloaded portion of our testing. From here, we're going to throw a load in the cargo bed on all these machines, run the course, and then we're going to get a trailer.
Okay.
Load that.